Welcome to the Everything Embodiment Podcast, where I will help you find peace, understanding, and love all within your human body, enhancing your mind-body connection through the exploration of vast ideas, concepts, and modalities, discussions all meant to propel you along your own unique spiritual journey. I'm your host, Amber Miller. Welcome back to Everything Embodiment. I'm your host, Amber Miller. Today's episode is really special to me because I'm joined by someone who was part of my journey before I even had the language for it. Kailey Wilson was the first person I ever received Reiki from. Before my spiritual awakening, before I knew what energy work was, and before I fully understood how deep healing could go. Kailey is not only a gifted energy worker and hair healer, she's one of the most grounded, culturally aware, and energetically attuned humans I've ever met. She shares her story with such honesty, from working for a major beauty brand and facing the moral rupture of its sale, to walking away from that world to create slow, conscious, earth-based hair care. Her products are made with homegrown or ethically sourced herbs and pure intention. She works with moon cycles, listens to the land, and treats hair like the sacred extension of the self that it is. In this conversation, you'll hear her story, learn about her healing process, and feel the fairy-like energy she carries in everything she touches. I'm so excited to share her magic with you. Today, I am so honored to introduce someone who's played a huge role in my own healing path. Kailey Wilson is a sacred herbalist, intuitive, and hair healer whose evolution has been nothing short of breathtaking. She was actually the first person I ever received an energetic attunement from, and she's the one who first opened that door for me. Kailey has since redefined what it means to care for our hair, bodies, and spirit, stepping away from the traditional salon work and into a world of ethically rooted, plant-powered beauty. She now creates intentional, herbal-based hair care that goes far beyond the surface. So, Kailey, welcome.
Thank you.
Let's start at the beginning. Can you tell us a little bit about your background in the beauty industry and how it led you to where you are now?
Yeah. I went to cosmetology and master aestheology school from 2013 to 2015-ish, and I went to Aveda Institute, and um, I just fell in love with Aveda because they were a more holistic plant-based company, and throughout my education, we intertwined holistic beauty with mainstream physical beauty, and I just fell in love with that. And I worked for Aveda for 7 years, off and on throughout the journey. And they were an amazing company to work for and inspired so much within me. But my path just was calling me elsewhere. Like being in the beauty industry was not aligned with who I am. There was just like always drama following me in different salons I worked at. And it just always kind of was the same thing. And it's also very wasteful, the beauty industry, and just, yeah, a lot of it did not align with my ethics. And as much as like I loved working for Aveda, they did kind of sell out to Estee Lauder.
Okay.
And which like broke my heart when I found out that Estee Lauder bought them, because I'm like, wait, this is in no way what Aveda stands for, like the true essence. And so that like really hurt my heart.
Yeah.
Um, and then in 2017, I went and did organic farming in Kauai. And while I was there, I began learning about herbalism and creating like salves and oils with herbs. And I just fell in love with that. I fell in love with farming and gardening and working with the earth and all of that. And then learning how to use everything that I'm growing into products, it just was so magical to me. And so that really like changed everything for me, and that's kind of where it all began.
That's amazing. I recently saw, I don't know if you know Barbara O'Neill. She's
Mm-mm.
got some controversy. She's a herbalist, naturalist. She's from Australia. Anyway, she did a talk in Sacramento recently, and it was a few days long. But one thing she kept saying throughout the whole thing is I can't get the quote exactly right because it's from memory, but herbs are God's gift to man.
Mhm.
And she was saying basically, like, there's herbs for everything, it's our gift to use. And I just kept thinking about that as you were talking about how it really was aligned for you to be growing your own
Yeah.
ingredients and then being able to use them. And I just really feel like it absolutely makes a difference when you are doing something with so much love, which you obviously are. And you've done something really brave, leaving the traditional salon world to forge your own path. You mentioned the company being sold to Estee Lauder, which is heartbreaking. Were there any other pivotal moments or realizations that told you that this just isn't aligned anymore?
Yeah. I think just before I moved to Kauai and did the farming internship, I just was so not happy. Like, I surface level was, but deep within, like something was missing.
Hmm.
And I just kind of was living like a toxic lifestyle. Um, and I slowly began stepping into my spiritual awakening and just wanted to follow that path. So I
Yeah.
just like listened to my intuition and was like, you know what? I'm gonna leave everything I know and go and do something completely new. And so that was definitely the catalyst. And when I was done in Kauai and I moved back to Utah, where I'm from, I did go back into the beauty industry. I worked at a resort spa in southern Utah, and then I worked at another Aveda salon, and that was a very positive experience. That's actually where I learned Reiki, and it was definitely all positive, but as time went on, I was making products still at home, and Reiki just really like became my passion, and so I again had to listen to my intuition being like, this isn't aligned with you, like salon life just isn't fully where your ethics and values lie. It's time to do something different. So that's kind of when I started like moving into like doing Reiki, and yeah, continued to make like salves and oils at home and just gave them as like gifts. Sometimes I would sell them. I used to wire wrap crystals and sell
I bought
them.
one. I
Yeah,
bought crystals from you.
yeah, so I would like kind of intertwine like salves and stuff with that.
Oh, I just love that you are recognizing your intuition and when you're out of alignment. I love that. I'd be curious to know, do you know your human design if you're a sacral?
Oh, I don't know that. Like I know I'm a manifesting generator. I think I have
Oh,
an
okay.
open throat center, but I do feel like something with my sacral. Like that sounds familiar, but I don't.
Okay, just the way you hear and feel it and respond, I just love it. Something else I really love and have very much always respected about you is you speak openly about cultural appropriation in healing and wellness spaces. What advice would you give to other healers or practitioners navigating that terrain with integrity?
Yeah, this is a big one. So I guess it actually is perfect where I left off of like moving into Reiki. So 2019 through 2020, 2021-ish is when I was really doing a lot of Reiki. Through the pandemic, I did a lot of distance Reiki. I know that's when we were working together a
Yeah.
lot. And in 2020, I kind of like I was connected with different people on Instagram who talked about culture appropriation of spiritual practices in the Western world, and how Reiki has been colonized and westernized, and it really affected me. And a lot of how I learned Reiki was from the colonized version, which honestly most people, that is what it is.
Hmm.
It's just been colonized for over a century now, so it's like that really is what most people know in the Western world. But I just it yeah, it really like hit me hard of like, okay, I can't be doing something that's not culturally kind or ethical. So I need to kind of pivot, unlearn everything, relearn energy work, and really make sure I'm centering being culturally kind and learning from indigenous leaders and people of color, women of color. So that's kind of when I started learning Celtic shamanism and diving into like the Celtic ways, because that is my lineage, and there's so much potent medicine from the Celtic lineage. And like so many people like say like white people have no culture and we're just stealing it from everyone else, but really like ours has just been lost as well through colonization. Like the colonization of Europe was horrible. Like, so it really, like, we all share that wound. It's just like we have to make sure we are looking to our own lineages, practices, and not someone else's. So,
Yeah.
like, a big example is like white sage. You know,
Hmm.
white sage is sacred to indigenous Native American people. And so, and especially it's so unethically harvested. And
Yes.
it's just, so that's a big one of like, don't use that. Like, I can't speak for like any reasons why you'd be able to use it. I would just say avoid it. There's so many other herbs that can be used as
Exactly. Yeah,
protection.
there's other things.
Yeah.
I you made a post recently on I think Instagram, and you said it was something along the lines of like it's don't say you don't like the word woo.
Oh
Um is
yeah.
it that it's offensive to these sacred traditions.
It's
And
so funny, like how people are like, oh, that's so woo-woo. And it's like, wait, no, actually it's not. This is actually like sacred indigenous medicine
yeah,
from different lineages. And I think even like saying woo is like in some way culture appropriating. I don't
yeah.
know. I
I
just
love that you are very authentic and you shine light to that because it needs to be said and you're not
yeah.
afraid to say it. Oh, I love that. So, your herbal hair products are more than just products. I've used them myself. They are medicine. Can you walk us through what goes into creating them and the intention behind each batch? And I'll just say before you answer, I love your posts that you make when you are cultivating these products because you can just feel the love that goes into them and the intention.
Okay, so you like the behind the scenes.
Love it.
Oh, I love that. Yeah, they are medicine, you know. As I've mentioned, I love gardening and growing the herbs, so I'm really working with the ingredients from like the time they're growing from the earth to harvesting them, drying them, placing them in the products, and it's a lot of the products need to infuse into oil for like a full moon cycle, so it's a very slow process, which I think is also magical. It like just adds in even more of that like folk medicine
Yeah.
wisdom. And if I don't grow the herbs, I do try to source them from local apothecaries and ethical sourcing. But yeah, I just make all the products in my kitchen and sing songs. I send Reiki to them
Oh, I
and
love that. I know that I got the hair oil after I gave birth to my son, and there's the postpartum hair loss, but also I had very low iron, so that was contributing to it. And it just felt the ritual of doing the hair oiling just felt really feminine and caring. So I really loved that. And then also, like I mentioned before we started recording, I've been doing swim lessons and have been in chlorine multiple times a week. The hydrating mask has been a lifesaver. Even in my daughter's hair, I noticed right away how the pool chemicals were affecting her hair. And just doing that mask just brings life back to it. They really
amazing.
are magic. You speak about honoring the cycles of nature. How can we align our hair care with those rhythms? Can we sync haircuts with the seasons or moon phases? Or what are some ways we can make our hair care sacred or a sacred cyclical practice?
I love this. So I usually try to do my hair treatments on the new and full moons. And when I say hair treatments, I mean hair oil, hair mask. And I actually did a hair oil treatment this morning, which is kind of along with the full moon. And tomorrow I'm getting a haircut, just a little trim, which, it's not quite on the full moon, but close enough. So the lunar hair care mythology is cutting your hair by the new moon helps new growth. Cutting
Okay.
your hair by the full moon helps to release and let go because our hair holds stories
Yeah.
and it's an extension of our nervous system. So, caring for it in these more cyclical ways, it connects us to Mother Earth and the universe and just like everything like living cyclically. And it just makes it such a more sacred thing. I also love doing hair rinses with herbs and apple cider vinegar every season change because the season changes can cause our hair to have buildup in the scalp, maybe be more static or dry. So doing just like a nice rinse with apple cider vinegar making sure to dilute it. It helps to reset the pH of your scalp. So it's like a full cleansing reset. So I like to do that every season change just to help bring that cyclical energy as well.
I love that. For
Yeah.
someone just starting their herbal journey or wanting to begin detoxing from conventional hair care, do you have any advice on where they can begin?
Our product line. In all seriousness, that is true. Like working with herbs, I feel like is the easiest way to start leaning into more holistic natural hair care. And you can still, it doesn't mean you have to stop coloring your hair if that brings you joy. It doesn't mean you have to stop using your favorite shampoo or whatever product you love, but just slowly integrating herbal products into your routine helps to bring more intention, to helps you to slow down. Like all of our products are very like intentional, like ceremony. Um, so it's just a nice way to bring that into your life. And the FDA doesn't regulate beauty products whatsoever.
I know that's
So,
terrifying.
yeah, so they can put whatever they want. And so many products have such bad chemicals. Aerosols are horrible for the planet, for for our bodies,
Mhm.
especially women. They're endocrine disruptors for our hormones. So it really is just like integrating more herbs into your hair care. It's like not just like healing your hair, it's healing your whole being and the planet.
Absolutely.
Also, even just drinking herbal tea helps,
Yes.
like because what's going on internally also reflects in our hair and our skin. So
That's great.
just want to say this may seem overwhelming and like for a beginner who's never worked with herbs, it may be like, I don't know how to do this, but it really can be so simple. It doesn't have to be
I
anxiety.
love and appreciate that you did say, you can keep doing this if it brings you joy and just make it manageable and start slowly, start integrating with intention. I love that because it
Yeah.
can be overwhelming when once you start realizing, once you open the door to how toxic everything is,
I know. It's like
it's a
so
lot.
and we live in a society where like intentional, slow care for ourselves isn't really the norm or the way, it's so fast paced, like boom, boom, boom. And so like this is such a good way to kind of also revolt against the system and,
Yeah.
say, what, I'm gonna move slowly today and take care of myself intentionally.
I love that you said that. I feel like I've had a real imbalance in my masculine and feminine energy, and I'm really trying to be very intentional, inviting more feminine into my life. I feel like I was just raised to just grind. And even though I've been on the spiritual journey for a while, I still have some masculine tendencies, and the go, go, go is part of it. And so
That's not
just,
always a bad thing, Like
it's
I like
balance though.
like I struggle with more masculine like structure. So yeah, it's like we need to balance each other.
Yeah, I'm working to intentionally invite more slowdown. Like this week, I have a cold, and yesterday I was thinking like, should I call in sick to work? And I could have hustled through the day. I could have, but I let myself stay home and just was slow. And I didn't normally I would, like, okay, what can I get done since I'm at home? And I allowed myself to just rest yesterday, and it was just really, I felt like kind medicine for myself. So it's
Oh,
just
I love that. And
totally in
like
line with what you're saying.
I'm such an advocate of rest,
Yeah.
but like I do understand it is a privilege and
Yeah.
that some people have no choice but to grind. And so for if that is someone listening that really has no choice, it's like even just carving out 10 minutes
Yeah.
for intention.
Absolutely. It's the small early step.
Yeah, yeah.
Is there any one herb that's been especially transformative for your healing journey?
That's hard.
It's like picking your favorite kid.
I would say like two come to my mind, and that would be nettle and yarrow. I literally have both of them tattooed on me.
Okay, that's
Um,
cool. I started taking nettle tea because I recently had a dental implant surgery. And so I'm having
Oh,
I had the post put in, so I'm in the healing phase, and I read that nettle is healing and regenerative. So anyway, I've invited that into my daily life.
gosh, I hope you're not in too much pain. That sounds
Oh,
horrible.
you know what's really weird? There's like no pain. I thought it would really hurt, but there's been no pain. So,
That's amazing.
okay, so your hair oil is one of your signature offerings. Can you tell us about the energetics behind it and how you recommend people use it as part of a ritual rather than routine? You kind of brushed on it already, I guess. If you have any more to
Yeah.
spotlight with it.
I mean, yeah, the hair oil, it's very intentionally slow crafted. And the best way, like this morning, I did a hair oil treatment and like it literally took me 10 minutes. And then I cooked my breakfast, ate my breakfast, and then washed it out. Because I say leave it for a minimum of 30 minutes. But hair oiling is like such an amazing way to connect with yourself and have that intentional hair care because you're applying the oil all over your scalp and then you need to massage it in because massaging your scalp stimulates the hair follicles, which help with growth. So massaging that oil in for, a good couple of minutes, that really gives you a pause to just like fully connect with like the crown of your being. And I love to like just think positive affirmations about my hair. Like my hair is strong and healthy and luxurious. It's growing, it's long, like any affirmations you want to do. And it's just, yeah, it's just a way to like connect with yourself. And
I love that. Like you said, it is quick. So if you don't have a ton of time to slow down, I mean, it's 10 minutes.
I think people are intimidated by oil too because it's like, it seems like it's such a process and like people are scared that's going to make their hair oily or whatever, but it really doesn't have to be intimidating. It just can be seen as like magic in a jar.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
out, I do shampoo twice and I recommend people do that, but it's not that difficult. It doesn't need to be a thing of intimidation, but I understand why it is.
I'll say, I guess maybe there was some of that when I started it because I had never heard of hair oiling until you. So, but I love it. I love the ritual of it. I love how it smells. I love the process. I love, one time we were on vacation and it was a winter vacation and it was so dry in the cabin that we were staying in and we didn't have any lotion or anything because, and I'm like, I have my hair oil.
I
So
love
my skin was so dry. I put a couple drops and rubbed it around and it like saved me and it just, like
Oh
it,
yeah, I'll definitely put some on my body for
yeah.
sure. It's
It,
in, it's intentionally crafted for hair, but yeah, it works on body and it is like the really where hair oiling comes from is from India and Ayurveda. There's a
mhm.
practice called Abhyanga within Ayurveda, which is like oil massaging, like applying oil all over. And it's kind of like seen as a protective layer or protective barrier.
Oh, I love that. I love that. Thanks for sharing that. For those who are disconnected from their hair, maybe due to trauma or postpartum changes or even self-image struggles, what first step would you offer to begin healing that relationship?
Yeah, hair oiling,
Yeah.
honestly, because it does bring that connection of like massaging your scalp and like taking that time to connect. But I would say like one that comes to mind is not comparing. And I know it's like so easy. It's easier said than done. And like I do the same thing with my own insecurities and struggles, but comparing really does just rob us of
Yeah.
like peace and seeing like art for what we truly are. So it's like not comparing and just having gratitude for what you do have and where you're at and your journey. Like postpartum, it's like, yes, of course, that's like such a hard thing to go through. I've never gone through it myself, but I would imagine it is. But you got there because you grew life.
Yeah.
And that's such a beautiful thing. And, I definitely have been on my own journey, kind of reconnecting and healing my hair because I last fall went through a massive period of shedding. Like I was moving, I was having health struggles and just hormone imbalance. And so I lost a lot of hair. And I also recently found out I am deficient in vitamin D, which is
Mhm.
like when you're deficient in vitamin D, it can cause brittle hair and hair
Yeah.
loss. And so I've definitely been on my own journey as well of like I make herbal hair care and like my hair is like I'm struggling with my hair and like it's falling out and it's dry and there's just so much that goes into it. So it's just like remaining present and just having gratitude and integrating these practices of connecting with your hair on a deeper, more holistic way that can help bring you out. I feel like I am kind of coming out on the other side of this experience, and like I just
Well,
have
I
a
have
lot of
to say, your hair looks amazing. It's
thank
so shiny and it just looks so healthy.
I did a hair oil treatment this morning.
It just looks really good. Many of your offerings seem to bridge herbalism, beauty, and remembrance. How do you personally balance the sacred and practical in your business?
It's a good question. I think that beauty is so much more than what's on the surface. Beauty is what's within, and it's, connecting with our higher self and our intuition and our ancestors and the practices that they did for beauty. And that's also why I love herbal hair care because it feels very ancestral. And so all of that comes really easy for me. But yeah, like I've mentioned, the masculine, the structure, the business side of thing, that's a little harder for me. So I'm still trying to learn that every day. I'm finding that having a set schedule and sticking to that while also giving space for flow because I'm a very flowy, fluid human.
Yeah.
It helps a lot. I've been using like Notion more, which is like an organizational app, and that has helped. But yeah, I'm still learning every day how to keep structure in my business while also letting it be like a divine feminine led business.
Yeah. And, honestly, just as someone who, watches your work, you're just so authentic. And you just don't seem to lose that. So,
Yeah, that is important to me, definitely being true to who I am. And something I just thought of also is living each day by the planet that's ruling the day. Have you learned about
yeah.
that? How the planets rule the days?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I feel like that helps so much with my routine.
Yeah. Oh, I love that you brought that up. Lastly, where can people connect with you, experience your offerings, and get their hands on your beautiful creations?
You can follow me on Instagram. I have an online website. I call it our online herbal apothecary.
I will put it in the show notes.
Yes,
Kailey, thank you so much for sharing your wisdom, your heart, and your truth. You are a living example of what it means to walk the path of embodiment in service to earth and spirit. I've witnessed your evolution firsthand, and I'm just so proud to share your magic with the world.
thank you so much.
Yes, thank you for being here today.
I'm so grateful for you.
I hope you loved getting to know Kylie as much as I have. Her commitment to integrity, slowness, and spirit is so refreshing, especially in an industry that often moves too fast and asks us to disconnect from ourselves. If you felt something spark within you while listening, don't ignore it. That's the energy of alignment. You can find Kylie's consciously crafted hair oils and rituals and more through the links in the show notes. I encourage you to support her, follow her, and experience the softness she brings to healing. And before I go, I want to share something because I unintentionally cut Kylie off when she was answering about her favorite herbs. I reached out to her afterwards so we could understand more about why yarrow and nettle are so important to her. She said, "Yarrow was one of the first herbs I worked with, and it holds a special place in my heart. I love its energetic medicine of protection and boundaries." She also shared that she adores nettle, calling it one of the most nourishing plants on the planet. It's changed her health, adds vibrant color to her products, and offers the energetic protection she values deeply as a sensitive soul. I just had to share that because it perfectly captures who Kylie is: intuitive, grounded, and guided by a deep relationship with the earth. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for listening. And thank you for continuing to say yes to your own embodiment journey. Please like and share and do all the things, and I'll see you next week.